Hello everyone. It's James again. And today I want to talk about a red flag when dealing with a narcissist. That usually rears its head within the first 6 months to a year of dealing with the narcissist. And it's part of what we call the devaluation stage. And I think it's important to go over this information. As for one, there are many new people finding their way to this channel. And just now learning about narcissism. And sometimes for us that know a lot about narcissism, or are more experienced, might forget a few of these things. So it's always good to stay sharp. So when these evil things show up in our lives, we can quickly know what they are, and act or not react accordingly. However that looks for you in your life and your situation. So here's what happens. You meet a narcissist, or someone that you think is a great person. They are showering you with a lot of attention. The love bombing stage. They might call you all the time like I mentioned before. To the point of them timing these calls the moment you walk out of the door for work. And they are trying to keep tabs on your life. Now before it starts to seem like they are stalking you, they try to make it seem sweet and loving. To where it hits those pleasure center parts of your brain. And you get addicted to this person. Well, the same can be said about how they treat you in general. And one of those things is they will make you feel like you are right about nearly everything. It's weird, but it feels good that someone has so much confidence in you. They don't argue with you regarding things you say. They treat you like the expert on everything and every topic. I mean, you can screw in a light bulb. And they will make you feel like you are super special for doing so. But then something happens. And this usually takes place either after their first blow-up argument they have with you, where they are do testing you, or slightly before this. But around this time you will notice a shift in how they treat you. And it will be as if you aren't smart anymore. You are no longer the expert. And are now the dummy. They will second guess everything you say and do. Even if it's down to screwing in a light bulb. And here's the big one. They will take everyone's opinions, thoughts, and suggestions over yours. Even if these other people are known to be not that smart. Even if they are known to make poor choices. And even if they are known to lie. You, the honest one with a sensible head on your shoulders, is treated like your word is nothing. And you're dumb as a box of rocks. Well, here's the thing. The narcissist is doing all of this to you on purpose. They know exactly what they are doing and why they are doing it. This isn't their first rodeo. They've done this before. And it's a pattern they follow. Because they do little tests here and there to see how you will react. And one of these little tests is to treat you like you are dumb. Or second guessing what you have to say. Or taking the word of someone else over you. You see. They've got such a foothold in the pleasure center of our brain. That when they hit us with this, we are unknowingly trying to get back to the pleasure. So this leads us to debate back and forth with the narcissist to see what their deal is. And find out why are they taking this other person's word over us. I remember going back and forth with Susie over the most craziest of topics. But just months before I was the expert. Everything I did seemed like it was gold. But then out of nowhere everything I did was garbage. And the mistake I made with her is I kept debating with her. Instead of just taking a moment alone to think. Even if it was on my way driving to work. And just think. What the heck is going on? How did we go from all of this wonderful treatment where my opinion mattered? To now being at the point where my word means nothing. Now I will have to say. During the beginning of when this starts. The narcissist still knows how to mask this with nice treatment still sprinkled here and there. Just enough to keep you hooked. It's when they have you in deep water and a decent amount of time has elapsed. They will then remove this nice treatment altogether. And everything you say or do will be worthless in their eyes. If you've watched some of my videos where Susie is criticizing me on how I'm doing the dishes. Or if I touched her chair. Or her table. Or a great number of other things. This was typical and normal for her. But she also did this very thing with very important life choices. She would rather go in a direction she knew that was wrong, that would cause everyone great harm, instead of listening to what I had to say. It was truly frustrating. However, what I didn't know at the time was it was all done on purpose. You see, when it was happening, I did notice Susie sounded a lot like my mother. But in reality she sounded more like my golden child brother, as she became very hostile and violent. Which my golden child brother was every bit of that. And which my mother used my golden child brother as an attack dog, so to speak. But that's another topic for another video. But though I noticed all of this regarding Susie's behavior, I still couldn't put two and two together. I kept thinking she had some sort of other problem that could be helped with therapy. Boy, was I wrong. That's when I learned about narcissism. And that it wasn't fixable. You see, the best course of action you can take when you see anything that throws you for a loop, like getting treated really nice, then out of nowhere getting treated like crap, or 1 minute you're an expert on certain subjects, and the next they treat you like you are a complete idiot and that your word can't be trusted. The best thing you can do is take a drive, or a walk alone, and think about this and how abnormal it is. And that only a person that has something wrong with them would do such a thing. And here's the important part. It's not your job to find out what this problem is with this person. And you aren't a bad person for feeling this way. You don't owe it to this person to try to save them. However, you must love yourself enough to save yourself from such a situation. So with that being said, people or so-called people that act in this way are usually highly disordered. So it's advisable that any breakup being done is either in public or on the phone. And it should be done very carefully. Even if you have to make up a story to get yourself out of such a relationship, such as you feel you can't give them the love they deserve, blah blah blah, because you are now going to be working a lot with your new work schedule or school schedule, even if it's completely made up. Saying something like that might be enough to keep the narcissist's ego intact, so they will just go off to be with one of their other supplies. Because I will tell you, you aren't the only one. You aren't. However, if you confront them on how they are treating you, it will turn into an argument and they might want to seek revenge on you and your life, which could lead them to getting the police involved, and the list goes on and on. But the moment you realize this, and you say to yourself, wait a minute, when I first met this person, I could literally do no wrong. And now I'm a big-time dummy that has to be second-guessed with everything I do. Hang on a minute. Something's not right here. The minute you get to this point, it's over. Do not debate back and forth with yourself. Don't go back to the narcissist to confront them to see what they have to say about the entire thing. You are just putting yourself in harm's way and feeding them narcissistic supply. The best bet is, once you see this pattern, is to think logically and clearly about what the safest way is that you can detach from such a so-called person. And to not go back and waver in your thoughts and words. Because this problem where they treat us like we don't know what we are talking about is done for a variety of reasons. Narcissistic supply is one of them. But they are there to see if you will debate them endlessly with no resolution and no answer to the problem. Just a giant messy loop of nothingness. And yes, they will feed on the narcissistic supply. But they will also realize you are now a willing participant in their nasty, twisted, sick dance called narcissistic abuse. And that's something you don't want to be involved in. Well, that's all I have for now. I do hope you found this video informative. If so, please subscribe and click the little bell for more content. And share, as we are working hard for a starting goal of 200,000 subscribers. And if you have already subscribed, I say thank you. And for those that have supported by the way of Patreon, I humbly say thank you. With that said, let's continue to pray for wisdom. Let's continue to pray for strength. And let's continue to pray for courage. And until next time, bye for now. And be good to yourself.